Today our topic is how to deal with rejection like a Stoic. Rejection is something everyone faces in life. It can come in many forms. A job application turned down, a love interest saying no, or even friends excluding you from a group. No matter how strong or successful you are, rejection hurts. It feels personal, like a direct attack on your worth. But what if I told you that rejection doesn't have to control your emotions or define your life? What if you could face rejection with calmness, strength, and even wisdom? That's where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about understanding life, accepting reality, and finding peace even in difficult situations. Let's explore how you can use Stoic principles to deal with rejection and turn it into an opportunity for growth. First, let's talk about what Stoicism is. Stoicism was founded in ancient Greece by a man named Zeno, but it became more popular in Rome through philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These thinkers believed that the key to happiness is not in external things like money, fame, or other people's opinions, but in our own mind and how we choose to respond to life. They taught that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we react. This idea is especially powerful when it comes to rejection. When someone rejects you, it's easy to feel like a victim, to blame yourself or others, or to let anger and sadness take over. But Stoicism reminds us that rejection is not something you can control. What you can control is how you interpret it and what you do next. Let's break this down. Imagine you apply for a job you really want. You prepare for the interview, you do your best, but in the end, they choose someone else. Your first reaction might be disappointment, maybe even anger or self-doubt. You might think, why didn't they pick me? Am I not good enough? But a Stoic would ask a different question. Was this outcome within my control? The answer is no. You controlled your preparation, your effort, and your attitude during the interview, but you did not control the decision of the hiring manager. They had their own reasons, their own biases, and their own needs. Maybe they were looking for someone with a different skill set, or maybe they had a personal connection with the other candidate. None of that reflects your worth or abilities. A Stoic would accept this reality and focus on what they can do next, like applying for other jobs or improving their skills. This brings us to the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control, which means dividing things into two categories: what we can control and what we cannot. Rejection falls into the second category. You cannot control how others feel, think, or act. You cannot force someone to like you, hire you, or include you. But you can control your own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. You can choose to see rejection as a learning experience rather than a personal failure. You can choose to focus on your own goals and values instead of seeking validation from others. This shift in perspective is not easy, but it is incredibly freeing. It allows you to take back your power and stop letting other people's decisions dictate your happiness. Another important Stoic principle is to examine your judgments. Often, the pain of rejection comes not from the event itself, but from the meaning we attach to it. For example, if someone rejects your romantic advances, you might think, I'm unlovable, or no one will ever want me. But are these thoughts true? Probably not. One person's opinion does not define your worth. A Stoic would question these automatic judgments and replace them with more rational ones. Instead of saying, I'm unlovable, you could say, this person and I are not a good match, and that's okay. Instead of thinking, no one will ever want me, you could remind yourself, there are billions of people in the world, and I only need to find one who appreciates me for who I am. By changing your judgments, you change your emotional response. You move from despair to acceptance, from fear to hope. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace adversity as a teacher. The Stoics believe that challenges are not obstacles to happiness, but opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Rejection is one of those challenges. It tests your resilience, your self-esteem, and your ability to adapt. Instead of running away from it or letting it break you, you can use it as a chance to build character. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I improve? What strengths can I develop? Maybe rejection teaches you to be more persistent, to communicate better, or to value yourself more. Maybe it pushes you to explore new opportunities you wouldn't have considered otherwise. By reframing rejection as a teacher, you turn a negative experience into a positive one. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is to prepare for rejection in advance. This might sound strange, but it's actually very practical. The Stoics called it Premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. It's not about being pessimistic or expecting the worst. It's about mentally preparing yourself for life's challenges so they don't catch you off guard. For example, before a job interview, you could remind yourself, I might not get this job, and that's okay. I will do my best, but the outcome is not in my hands. By accepting the possibility of rejection beforehand, you reduce its emotional impact. You also free yourself to act with confidence and clarity, because you're not attached to a specific result. It's also important to remember that rejection is a universal experience. No one is immune to it, not even the most successful people in the world. J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter book was rejected by 12 publishers before it was accepted. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a TV anchor. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. These people didn't let rejection stop them. They used it as motivation to keep going. When you face rejection, remind yourself that you're in good company. You're not alone, and you're not a failure. You're just on a journey, like everyone else. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. In the grand scheme of things, rejection is a small part of life. It might feel huge in the moment, but it doesn't define your worth or your future. What matters is how you live your life, how you treat others, and how you grow as a person. A Stoic would say that your character is more important than any external success or failure. So, instead of dwelling on rejection, focus on being the best version of yourself. Be kind, be honest, be resilient, pursue your passions, help others, and live according to your values. When you do that, rejection loses its power. It becomes just one of many experiences that shape you, but it doesn't control you. In conclusion, dealing with rejection like a Stoic doesn't mean you won't feel pain or disappointment. It means you won't let those feelings control you. You'll accept rejection as a natural part of life, learn from it, and move forward with strength and wisdom. Remember, you can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Use the principles of Stoicism to shift your perspective, question your judgments, and focus on what truly matters. Rejection is not the end. It's just a stepping stone on your journey. And with the right mindset, you can turn it into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. So the next time you face rejection, take a deep breath, remind yourself of these Stoic principles, and keep moving forward. You've got this.